beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. Titan Souls! Key! Let's go! Oi. Okay, let's go. Today I'll be speedrunning the game Titan Souls. We take on the role of a small hero equipped with a bow and a single arrow, and our task is to confront 19 bosses in this Forsaken Lands. At the beginning, we have a short tutorial with the basic abilities of our hero. It turns out that even though we only have one arrow, we can attract it back to us regardless of the distance. Prepared as such, we go to meet the first Titan, Sludgeheart, the Heart of the Guardian, which is slime? Okay, first of all, you're probably wondering why this guy plays in German. After each boss we have about 30 seconds of unskippable animation, but there is a way to deal with it. So in each encounter the goal will be to hit a specific weak point of the Titan. And to skip the animation I have to exit the game when I retrieve the arrow from the boss. So not without a reason, in speedrunning this is called a risky skip, because it can only succeed when I exit in specific frame of the game. If I'm late by less than a half second, I won't be able to skip the animation, but if I exit too early, the boss won't be counted, which is equal to discarding the whole attempt. And here comes the German language with its "ja." When I stand as close to the arrow as possible, and exit the game when those arrows reach the screen's edge, it will most likely work. I say most likely because sometimes, despite doing everything perfectly, the boss still won't count. How do I know this? 992 attempts. I love this game. Let's continue. Sludgeheart is the worst boss for anyone who's trying speedrunning this game, because it is the only one that starts in a random place in the room. So the fight varies from 10 seconds to almost a minute. My timer already started yelling that I'm taking too long with it. So the next opponent is called Eye Cube, the Eye of the Guardian. Here the fight lasts so shortly that you could miss it with a blink of an eye. And the second risk escape is counted. So, we are ahead. Sprinting to the next, Brain Freeze, the brain of the Guardian. The task is simple. We have to tie the Titan and then it become a vulnerable target. Just like it. 10 seconds and the third risk escape. Actually, you have no idea how stressed I was with each of the skips, knowing that one small mistake, or even none, and it's all over again. But we've got it. So, the first three bosses, we move on to the Guardian. Goliath, the Guardian of the first gate. So, the fastest way to deal with this guy is to not fight him in his arena. With one hand, he will always shield his weak point, so we need to provoke him to switch hands and take the shot in the right moment, just when he's exposed. Here, of course, we don't do a risky skip because we need to keep going, but if we manage to open the gates along with the animation, we'll also save some time. Now it's time to move on to the main part of this realm. Just when we hop into the elevator, we arrive in the center of a huge, much bigger map. And our journey will start with a fight in the forest, which is located in the far right corner of this map. The first titan we have to fight is actually quite funny or specific, I suppose. You will see it. It's called Obello, the malformed, hallucinogenic fungus. Yes, you heard it right. Fungus. The titan fungus. And it's time that I use risky skip for the 4th time. The updated numbers of titans in the menu and the glowing point on the checkpoint indicate that we are in fact succeeded. So now quickly through the forest to the last titan of this nature category, I suppose. Vianthesis, the poisonous flower, the most iconic boss of the whole game. If you ever watched Titan Souls trailer, I bet you saw this titan. You have 4 vines, but of course there is a method for him too. You just have to wait until he takes the right position, and then as soon as we open his petal, we have to shoot immediately before he turns around. While doing this, I got a bit confused here and accidentally entered the audio settings, but I managed to do the 5th risky skip. So, we leave the forest. And by the way, in this world, it's not just about fighting titans, but the creators left a very interesting storyline about the origin of titans, their life, times of glory and downfall. It's all hidden in their names, murals and structures scattered on the map. But I think you probably already guessed it, seeing the bosses leading to the first guidon. However, I focus on the speedrun. You head south, leaving a checkpoint to which I'll be able to teleport. And the next battle will take place in the cemetery area. The next boss, next titan, called Goal Level, or in beta version, Goal Abel, the murdered guardian of the second gate. This boss is just a mask, so its entire back is a weak point. For a second, I suppose, and the fight is over. But now it's time for the hidden boss, which actually when you played the game normally, you could very easily miss it, because he is not required to complete the game. But he provides some interesting lore information. Next titan called the Elder, the First Soul. He's the first boss that actually speaks to us. I suppose the only one. Lyrics are in Germany, so let me translate. I was the first life. The first soul born from truth. And from I came the first of you. And now we come full circle. The maker is unmade. And one day you shall fall to the same fate. Do what you must. And this skip didn't work. I messed it. But fortunately for me, I was just a bit late, so I hadn't lost all the attempt yet. So it's okay. However, we teleport to the checkpoint and move on to the next titan, called Knight Elhanan, the legendary Titan Slayer. Again, we meet unique titan because he's the first boss who uses weapon just like us. He also has a bow and arrow, and he's darn tough guy, tough opponent, because he has no weak points. Or maybe until we hit his arrow, then he exposes himself for a second. This time I accidentally messed up another skip, but it's okay. So the next boss, next titan, is hiding in his basement. This is the second titan that you could miss by playing this game, because you have to switch this button, this lever or something, and only then we can approach the fight. Avarice, the manifestation of greed. In other words, a mimic from typical fantasy. 6 seconds of fighting and a successful 6 skip. Now, having all of this section behind us, it's time to completely change the atmosphere of the surroundings. We move on further to the west, and by climbing stairs, crossing a bridge, we reach a system of caves and caverns leading us further underground. To the underground dripping with magma and lava. Here we'll face the next 3 titans. The first one hides behind a lava flow, something like that. Molkine, the molten creation of Golkine. A magma sphere, oh yes, hot climates. For some reason, however, this titan likes to keep his distance. It's to our advantage, especially when he finds himself against a wall and wants to throw a bomb at us. Next boss checked. So now it's time to fight the creator of the other 2 titans of this region. And the one whose body we can see resting, which is fun fact. Golkine, the disgraced guardian of the second gate. His weak point is a tiny window on his back. Here we can use a safe technique of quick skip. Our death interrupts the animation, so if we time it right, the geyser actually helps a lot. The fight with the last fiery titan of this area will take less time than pronouncing his name. Rolkine, the forged creation of Golkine. Nice, just like it. 7th, risky skip. It's time to leave this fiery region and hop to the elevator. It's time to move on to the different scenery that changes drastically again. Welcome to the snowy mountains. For our next boss, we just need to warm up the way. And we can have a confrontation with Onyxia, the serpent of the cold depths. A boss we won't give time to play with, and at which we'll use the same technique as with Golkine. Meaning, we'll get a game over. For our advantage, Onyxia's whole body is one-shooting us. Since that's behind us, it's time to visit the 15th boss, the Legend of Tavern Stories, Yeti, the old snow beast. Well, this guy throws snowballs at us and... yes. He have arrow in his ass. It's the 8th risky skips. Oh yes. And so on to the last Winter Titan. Stratus, the child of the mountain and sky. This guy's weak point is behind his soon-to-be chipped teeth. Here, for some reason, my audio started buzzing. I don't know why. Maybe OBS. I don't know, maybe OBS settings or something. But now to finish in the game, we only have to fight 3 more titans. So, without wasting more time, we run straight to the final bosses. To do that, we have to return to the main clearing, to the main land. To place where we for the first time left the elevator. Here on the northern side, behind the huge gate, there is a passage. And the new elevator, the last stage of Titan Souls. Behold, stormy land, eternal rain. Thunderstorms and other weather phenomena won't prevent us from clashing with Gol Set, the Guardian of the Eternal Gate. This is the upgraded version of the first Guardian. Faster attacks and laser eyes, plasma in his chest. It's still not enough. Only before I pull it out, I have to get behind him. Yes, there it is. I can fit right in. I can skip the animation by moving to the next section. And with that, even gaining a speed back this way. Trust me, I can't stop with this back. But it's okay. This boss, Buddha. Well, maybe not exactly. Because we are fighting with the soul. Image of the Titan soul. This is ourselves. What a symbolism. That in the end, we have to face ourselves. Is it doable? After all, the question is, am I better than myself? Yes. Yes, thank you. You, GG. Oh yeah! Skip, and this is really the last boss. The truth. The all-seeing eye of truth seems to come from even ancient Egypt with its Eye of Horus. But this primal titan has 3 phases, which every one of them it's not that hard. But it's final boss after all. And that's it! Just like it. Finito. Now it's only a matter of time for me to feel a wave of information and knowledge washing over me. Truth, and only truth, reveal its true face to me. Nothing is hidden anymore. Just me and it. Kebab. 18 minutes and 6 seconds is a new world record! Oh yeah! It should be here on the board, but although I wrote to all 3 admins, I don't know. I guess they're sleeping. Why they are not responding to me? For 12 days!